Well, there's no problem. If you had a gun, shoot him in the head.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today is New Year's Eve, which means tomorrow is the annual New Year's Day hangover snow run. This happens every year. A long time ago, I remember it only happening in Carson. It was like a Carson snow run type thing, but seems like nowadays people are it's just a go snow wheeling on New Year's Day type thing. So we're not going to be going to Carson. We're going to be going somewhere a little more secluded and private, trying to avoid the crowds, try and find something deep and untouched. So super excited for that. However, the Jeep needs a good bolt check. So I do this bolt check before every trip. Doesn't matter. Like the last trip we went on was cut short. Other people broke down pretty quickly, so it was only, maybe an hour, to be honest, of driving. So it seems super silly. Like it's clearly fine, right? It felt fine coming off the trailer, it felt fine coming into the garage, but every trip, do the bolt check. So I thought it might be helpful to show you guys what I typically check. Obviously you can't go over every single thing. Go over the normal things that come loose and just, the preventables, the stuff that you would be really mad at yourself when, your link or your driveline bolts were loose and that causes you to be the guy who breaks down 5 minutes off the trailer. That's really annoying. So this isn't normally step one, but I can see this tire is pretty low, which makes sense. We were snow wheeling last time, and I know that where we're going, we're gonna have to drive on the street for a little bit. So whenever that's the case, I like to air up the tires. That might sound silly to some people, like of course you want to air up the tires, but with these big tires, actually, depending where we're going, I don't air back up. I just leave them down at like 2 to 3 psi. All forever. Like all summer, they're just at 2 to 3 psi. But sometimes in the snow, if you have to drive on the pavement for a little bit, it's nice to air them up and then air back down once you get off of the pavement. So first step, I'm going to put like 15 pounds-ish in all 4 tires. Alright, so now that the tires have air in it, all of them are up to like 20 pounds or so, the next thing we're going to check is the drive lines. So I always, every trip, check both drive lines, all 8 bolts. They actually come loose way more than you think they would. Every drive, check them. I use blue Loctite on all of them, and that helped tremendously once I started doing that. So if you don't have them covered in blue Loctite, Loctite them and just crawl under there and check them every trip. While you're under here checking on your bolts, it's a good idea to take a look at all of your clips on your drive shaft as well. Sometimes those might be displaced just a little bit or missing entirely and you had no idea, and the U-joint is just, friction held in there, but that doesn't last forever, and a wheel-in trip will definitely eject a U-joint if it doesn't have a clip in there. So while you're down here, after you've checked your drive shaft bolts, I like to check the U-joints as well. I know we already went over the clips, but I like to just give everything a good shake, make sure there's no worn out U-joints. Check the back too while we're here. Everything feels nice and solid. If a U-joint has any kind of play in it at all, it needs to be replaced. Any play at all. So this all feels super solid. Okay, so next I'm going to go over all of the main link bolts. So there's 4-link front and rear, so there should be 8 bolts and heims. I want to check the jam nuts, so these little guys, make sure that those are tight. And then I want to check all of the bolts on the frame side and the axle side and make sure that they're all tight. That's one that you would think, if it was loose, any of that, you would have felt it before. But I'm telling you, you would be amazed how many times I have thought the Jeep was dialed coming off the trailer, and I pull it in the garage and do my bolt check before the next trip and find a link about to fall off the Jeep. All right, we are almost done underneath here. All the links checked out nice and solid, really tight. The last thing I like to check is, just because I have an Atlas under here, these are really, really expensive pieces. So I always go and double check my fluid level on the Atlas. When you buy these, you can get them with the sight tube here, and just, you know, make sure that the fluid is the right color and where you left it. And this one looks solid, so the Atlas is full. All good there. Now we can move back up to the top. All right, so another one that I think might seem obvious, but I think gets overlooked a lot of the times, is your lug nuts. I try to retorque them every trip, especially because I do run wheel spacers, and so aluminum wheels, aluminum wheel spacers, aluminum soft. But yeah, just go ahead and hit them with a torque wrench. I actually forgot to do this specific part last trip, and ended up having lug nuts come loose and smoking my $500 Raceline wheel. So yeah, gonna go through all of the lug nuts really quick and make sure that they're all torqued to spec. And then I'm also going to, because I have a 14 bolt in the rear, if you don't have a 14 bolt, this one doesn't really apply, but full float axle, so the axle shaft is actually bolted to the hub assembly right there, and those tend to come loose all the time too. They're kind of notorious for that on these 14 bolts, and then they'll start leaking gear oil everywhere. Alright, so all the lug nuts are tight, the axle shafts are tight. We're kind of done with under the Jeep for the most part, other than steering. So I like to go through and double check for cracks on my high steer arms, and then check all the steering bolts, as well as my full hydro, like ram clevises. So go through and check all those. Don't want those falling off, obviously, that would be a bad day. And then while I'm here, I also like to visually and physically like run my hand up and down the hydro lines that run from the ram to the orbital, just because for me personally, those have occasionally gotten caught on stuff, or, you know, kissed the balancer and get kind of sketchy wore through. So I like to make sure that there's nothing fishy going on there. Don't want to lose hydro steering. You're kind of SOL on dead in the water then. So go through and check all these, make sure that that's good to go. All right, so while we're down here, it's a good time to check out your ball joints and axle shaft U-joints. Sometimes you can catch these before they blow up and ruin your day. Yep, these are all looking good though. Alright, so that's pretty much everything under the Jeep that I like to check. Sometimes, depending on what I'm doing or how long it's been, I'll check the coilover bolts too. But those don't hardly ever come loose for me. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to pop the hood and take a look at some of the fluids and stuff underneath there. So let's pop the hood really quick. There's that beautiful dirty old LS. Poor thing used to be so pretty. But no inner fenders, so it just gets covered in dirt. It's unfortunate. All right, so first thing I'm gonna check is the power steering fluid. I just want to double check that. Holy moly, that might be a two-hander. Hang on. All right, I got it. Holy crap, that thing was on there. Yeah, so I'm just gonna unscrew this lid, take a peek at the fluid, make sure it's full, not metallic-y or glittery, which it always is. Looks like it needs to be serviced. I should probably change that at some point. Not right now though. And then visually look for leaks and stuff on the power steering fluid. I think if you didn't have full hydro, that one's not quite as important. Because it's so easy to pop a cap off and look, but maybe I wouldn't check that. Full hydro. Steering is very important. Alright, so next I'm going to check the coolant levels. I do always prefer to run a plastic clear overflow bottle. That's not because I'm a cheap ass. I could obviously go buy, a nice aluminum one like what everybody else in the world runs. But I like to visually, I can tell on the fly how hot the coolant is, if it's low or not. I do like to pop this open, take a look in there. Looks good, looks full, a little bit of mud in there. All in all, in order. All right, another one that I think gets overlooked a lot is your belt. I always kind of come in here, play with the belt a little bit, take a look at it, make sure it's not falling apart anywhere that I can see. Looks okay, it wasn't making any noise. Okay, next I'm going to double check that my winch works. This isn't something I used to do a lot, but I've had some winch troubles as of recently, so I'm just going to double check that that's all working as it should be. I've had this winch for, I don't even know, 8 years, something like that now. It might be time for me to upgrade. But she does just keep trucking along. So I don't know. I feel bad replacing her. She just keeps going. Winch is working. That's one that all the time you hear or you see, you experience people, they're stuck and they go get their winch out and it doesn't work anymore. I have been that guy. Try to avoid being that guy because no one likes that. Sounds good. Alright, so I'm gonna let it warm up for 5 minutes or so, and then I'm gonna check the oil. I have a manual transmission, but if I had an automatic, I would drive around the block and check the trans fluid too. I actually run my oil a quart over just for like the vertical climbs, but yeah, just kind of let it warm up and check that really quick. Been a few minutes. Let's go ahead and shut her down. Check the oil. Now, like I said, I prefer to run my oil a little over. No, 1 quart over is not gonna hurt nothing. And I do have a bit of an oil pan gasket leak, so I wouldn't be surprised. I do have to add some pretty often. But no, we're nice and over right now. We got maybe a half a quart over. So looking good. I think that'll run. Another thing I like to check is the brake fluid and the clutch master fluid. Typically, I can see this one has brake fluid in there, so that one's good. I'm gonna have to pop the cap off of this one, take a look at it. Oh, it's full. Good deal. Just quick, easy checks. Alright, I think that's gonna do it. That's typically my bolt check. That's what I like to do. Obviously check, oil pressure and stuff like that, but that stuff's obvious. So yeah, I think all that's left now is to hook it up to the trailer and load up. Jeep. Me too, don't worry, we'll go over that in the next video. Alright, you guys tell me if I line up or not. All right, well, I think that about does it. That's how I prep for a wheeling trip. I do that before every single wheeling trip. The Jeep is now on the trailer and loaded and ready to go wheeling tomorrow. So tomorrow should be a pretty good day, and I'll make sure to film that for you guys as well.